want to talk about something. It's about to get real evil real quickly. For some people. I made an upload I think it was last week, about how it's time to pick a side, or it could have been Sunday I did it. I can't remember because I'm not looking at the exact date. Wasn't too long ago I did an upload saying time to pick a side, the end of duality. Now when we keep hearing about folks dying because somebody was jealous, somebody was envious, and it keeps happening and happening and happening. You see nothing but blood sacrifices, nothing but black magic and mental manipulation. Magic used in a very negative way instead of a positive way. Magic can be used both ways because there's duality to that too, but people chose to use it more on the negative end. Wickedness is far outweighing anything else. Some people who want to keep finding room for these people to be in their world instead of cutting them off, they're going to find themselves on that negative end right along with them. And in order for them to survive, and I'm talking about the people who are supposed to be compassionate, and you're going to have to lose your compassion if you find yourself on the negative side, because the end of duality I'm going to say it's already here. We're just in time. At this point, we're in time. And it's slowing down. It's coming slowly because we're in time. But I honestly feel like everything is already complete and we just have to let it play out in time. And in order to change whatever was already set, you're going to have to do some work on yourself. Okay? And so you can change whatever was already, so you can change that particular timeline that they are creating stuff in. That means it's going to have to be some work on yourself to change that. But to be complacent, even with certain individuals in your life, it's no more accepting people who are what I call low down. And I'm saying low down. I'm not talking about nobody who's not perfect. I'm talking about somebody who's just low down. Somebody who don't care who they hurt. That's a completely different. That's not a person who makes mistakes. And we got to stop doing that. That is not a person who makes mistakes. When they do this over and over again, a person, and then they don't care. Because when folks want to keep making excuses to folks like that, there's this notion that they feel like everybody is supposed to be how they perceive everybody should be, and that's not how reality really works. That's not how it works. Some entities that look like people, that's just who they are. Sometimes they're just those lower entities. Sometimes that's just who they are. You got to realize some people were born which we call devils, even though I'm using devil in the sense that it's been used in this current world. Because for me, the real definition of devil, well, I'm not going to say definition, but the real devil, according to how I'm looking at how I've noticed how this current system has been, the devil is actually the truth. The devil is actually the truth, and the devil is actually what can save you, because anything that's called a devil and demonized or whatever under this particular system, and they want to demonize something as if they're any better themselves, that means that whatever they're calling the devil is opposite of who they are. So they like to confiscate information. They like to hide the truth. Whatever they're calling the devil is what's going to give you the truth. Okay? That's what's going to give you the truth. And I feel like that's what the serpent was doing with Adam and Eve, giving them the truth. Everybody is up against the serpent, but at the same time, this particular God didn't want Adam and Eve to have all the information. This God did not want Adam and Eve to know the truth. This God did not want Adam and Eve to know what he knew. When the serpent wanted to come and give these people, well, I'm not gonna go into that. I'll just say this. Seeing how everything is taught in reverse, we now see that we have been reversed. I think even the chakras are reversed. I don't understand why these particular energy points get so much attention out of all the energy points. And it seemed like we got turned upside down when those chakras really came. A lot of people got turned upside down with those chakras. And I think it's because they are reversed. Okay, so with that being said, knowing that with this particular system that we've been in for a while, knowing that they reverse things, they lie, they indoctrinate you, they confiscate information, they don't want people to tell the truth. The people who tell the truth, they make sure their channels don't grow. Knowing all of that about this system, whoever they are calling the devil, and whatever they are allowing to get popular, it's probably something that's going to trap you. So whatever deity or entity that they say is good, that's supposed to be a savior, that's the anti. Okay, because I'm seeing everything's in reverse here. I mean, we just got everything is in reverse. Even with the slave trade, when I listened to Dan Calloway, that was in reverse. The map is in reverse. Everything is in reverse. Guess what? I believe time is in reverse. I believe the 1900 was the future, and we're going back behind. I think we're going back. Because while we're going into further matrix within a matrix within a matrix, that's like you're going into further hells. You're getting further and further separated from your true self. I don't think 2020 is the future, or 2021. I don't think that's the future. I think we're going further behind. I think the 1900s and the 1800s was more the future. I heard somebody briefly talk about that, but I forgot how she said it. She talked about something else, though. Because I'm looking at how people seem to be more advanced. The music was better. Look at the music was better. People were more creative. And I know there's actions that took place. Well, yeah, that's because they want artists. They give them. Yeah, but we see in the action that take place to cause it. But people were more. It seemed to be more advanced. And now it looks like people are advanced, but what's advanced is the technology. People are getting dumbed down. People are getting so dumbed down that humanity no longer exists. It's machines that's dominating. That's not advanced for the humans. Humans were more advanced. When you look at, even if you go by what's in the Bible and you go by Genesis and all that stuff, when you see that they live to be 1,000 years and whatever, that lets you know that actually there is a de-evolving of what you would call man. And I think that was more the future than 2022, 2023. But anyway, I want to say this though. So it's almost like we got to get back to the future. Isn't it a movie called Back to the Future? There is a movie called Back to the Future that I'm going to watch. I think that was the future. That was the future. We're not in the future. That was the future. We're not in the future. So we're not 2023, 2024. That's not advancing. We're going further and further behind with those kind of years. We're going behind. We're not on the right timeline. We're not on an advancing timeline. We're on the bad timeline. We're on the bad timeline. I'm about to just stop working or whatever. You know, I'm gonna be like, set it off. I'm not gonna be trying to be so hard up for money that my soul freaking dies. Because I need money to pay bills so bad or something like that. And I'll be like, set it off. This isn't good. And I didn't know I was going to go here. This is why when I start talking like this, I press record. I never know what's going to come out when I start talking like this. I never know. I just start talking, and all of this, I had no idea I was going to say it. Now here's what I thought I was going to say and just click off, right? All I thought I was going to say is that the inner duality is here. And we're seeing increasingly negative, slower vibrations that's dominating, like envy, jealousy, those emotions. It's very, when you get to the gratitude and peace, the peace is like the highest. Like people say love is high. I thought it actually was joy was the highest. I'm seeing that peace is the highest. I feel like peace is the highest. That's why people try so hard to take your peace. They want to take your joy. Yeah, they want to take your happiness. I think above all, they want to make sure people don't have peace. To me, peace has to be the highest vibration. Peace. Okay? But yeah, I was just going to say that we are seeing that the duality that's ending and the non-duality that a lot of people are headed into are already in, because it's already done in the spiritual world. So it's already there. You just gotta beat the clock. You just gotta beat the clock at this point, because it's already in the spiritual world. I think it's already complete. And the fact that a lot of us are seeing more of the negative end, and then you see the COV. They're about to do the digital money. They rolled out with the cryptocurrency. Let me tell you something. In the spiritual world, it was already done. That non-duality that a lot of people are in, some are on a more positive end, which you might want to call the rapture. There's some already, you won't see it if you're not in that vibration. You won't know what happened. Okay? But not necessarily the rapture according to how maybe, the Bible describes, but then you never know. The Bible, you have to really decode it too. You have to decode the Bible. That's why I don't bash the Bible, because it has to be decoded. Because a lot of those folks didn't make things up. I don't think they're creative enough to make anything up. So what they did was put different names on some other type of other manuscripts. They're not creative enough to just make up stuff, I don't think. So I just feel like the Bible needs to be decoded. Yeah, it's already done in the spiritual world. Non-duality is already here. And the fact that we are just seeing non-stop evil. Well, I don't really see it a lot, because I try to stay mostly to myself. Even when I'm working, I try to keep to myself. I don't really engage with too many people. I try not to talk to too many people. I don't want to know anybody's business. I'm not one of those people that just talk to the staff. People just popular at work and all the staff like to talk to them and they magnetic. I have a barrier around me. I don't want to be magnetic where everybody just want to come up to me and talk about because that's their nastiness kind of rubbing off on you. Like, you're gonna have to constantly clear yourself with that, So I don't want that especially when we see the type of energy that's dominating, which is very negative. I don't want to be a person on that end of duality. That's more negative. I don't want to be popular, because most people are going to rub their crap off on you. Okay? So I don't want to be popular. I want to keep to myself as much as possible. I don't want to be a star. I don't want to be nothing on the negative end of duality, which non-duality is already here. The oneness is already here. This is what they're doing. This is why they're trying to cut off anybody who has an individual opinion. Anything that goes against what they are trying to get people to go along with. Like anything that's against the hive mind that they are trying to create, they shut you down. That lets me know the non-duality is already in the spiritual realm. It's already in oneness. And that's why they shutting folks down who has a different opinion that's against what they are trying to push forward. It's already non-duality. It's already happening. You got to beat the clock now. You've got to beat the clock. Now, if you don't beat the clock, and I'm talking to myself too, and when it's too late, and it's going to open up again, so I believe in the 3.5 years, and the 3.5 years, I believe in that part, but you never know how that goes either. You never know if it's going to be the actual 3 years, but I think that is how it is. People don't beat the clock, because at this point you got to beat the clock. It's already done. This is too much evil that's happening that even if it's not in your personal life, it's around, and it's only so much you're going to keep that bubble of safety if you keep straddling the fence. It's time to rise up and get out. It's time to rise up and get out. Don't believe for a second, because I'm about to say this to myself, and I'm going to say it out loud to you. Stay confident in yourself. Stay self-confident. Don't believe for a second anybody is more powerful than your will can be. Nobody's will for you can be so powerful that you go further into what you would call hells. And what I call hell is further away from your true self, your true essence. You like further and further away into being controlled by something else and never getting to your true self ever again. Or your soul. Right? It's only so much you're going to keep that protective bubble where you're going to be able to protect yourself. Once that is locked, once the clock runs out, and once that is locked, your bubble is going to burst. And it's going to be just a fight. All the evil people going to be together. All this stuff that we seeing now that I don't see too much of because I try not to tune into it too much. But all the stuff all the evil that's going on, it's going to get so many times worse when that doggone when that clock runs runs out and everything is shut down and it's going to be too late. So don't ever think for a second that somebody's going to be more powerful to keep you away from your true self. What God put together, no man can put asunder. Nobody's magic or nobody's will for your life, and nobody is going to be strong enough to keep you from your soul unless you just don't want to go back. Or unless you just don't want your soul. Because that's what they're going to do. They're going to trap you from connecting with your soul. They're going to keep your vibration real low. Once that clock runs out and then you're stuck into the oneness or the duality on that lower end, you're going to be separated from your soul because you're going to be vibrating too low. And you're going to be completely separated from your soul, and it's going to be nothing but nonstop torture. And you're not going to have a choice but to change into something very... You're going to have to turn into something extremely evil in order to protect yourself. Evil is not necessarily bad. It could be divine if you're doing it in a way to keep other entities from invading you. When they want to cross your energy and they want to do all this, and you see they're on the negative end and you see they're not going to get better. They can't get better. But you just got to know what you're dealing with. Taking something out, no matter what it might look like, it's not evil if you know it's something that's like you know it's very low vibrational and you know nothing's gonna happen to change that. It's not necessarily evil to take that out. It's just the way I guess the law is. That you got to be careful, but that energy is dangerous. But that's what I was going to say, that unfortunately I just saw things for the truth, and duality has already ended. We are currently in a non-duality. And some people are being sacrificed. That's why we're seeing so many blood sacrifices like nobody's business, like everybody killing everybody for money. And it's like it's becoming so normal to the point it's so bold, like to the point where when things start to become so bold like that, it makes me feel like the boldness is due because there's nothing that can be done about it. And so when I see people getting too bold, then I start to see, oh, it's too late. They're bold because they know it's nothing you can do about it. So I'm about to go, but anyway, I just wanted to talk about that. On the lower end, you're on the lower end of duality. It's already been completed in the spiritual realm. Yep. And we are witnessing, well, I'm not really witnessing it. I hear about it every now and then. I try not to tune into that too much. So when people keep talking about stuff going on, people losing their houses and all this bad stuff happening to folks, they don't even realize for them to be in the midst of it, they are on the lower end of duality. And you got to be careful constantly entertaining that kind of stuff. You got to be carefully constantly entertaining that, because that stuff kind of gets in your, that stuff can penetrate your energy field. Constantly getting into that, watching it, entertaining it, It can penetrate your energy field. Because the fact that somebody wants to keep entertaining that, especially people that upload the videos about something that's always going on with this current situation, the mandates and housing, and they say, well, I'm just trying to keep you informed. It's like, no, you got to be more positive than that. Don't keep talking about somebody losing their house, getting evicted from their apartment, people dying, people getting shot. Don't keep talking about that and thinking you're informing somebody. You're not giving them good information. You're giving them narratives that's already been created, and you're not trying to give them anything new to create. You're just saying, oh, I'm just telling you to be prepared. Be prepared for what? For somebody else's narrative coming into your field. You know, that's not good. Somebody that constantly have to entertain stuff like that and feel like they wanted somebody else, they've already been tainted with that, a lot of that negativity, and that negativity is going to be a part of them. And I don't care how nice they look and how clean they look and how peaceful they look, they're going to be caught on that negative end if they keep entertaining. I don't care if they look like they got a good family, look like they got a good marriage. Keep entertaining that stuff. You're going to be on the lower end. You're already on the lower end. But you keep entertaining it, that door is going to close, and then those people that look like they have a nice peaceful life, they're going to be stuck on the lower end, and they're going to go through hell. Like, when I say hell, I don't mean how it's described in the Bible. I'm talking about like personal, just torture, non-stop torture. You know? Oh, that's all I gotta say though. Yep. That's it. And I will talk later.